After seeing the background of the terrifying event, I was appalled by a character I had been supporting in a significant scene in Smoke Episode 1. Detective Michelle Calderon and arson investigator Dave Goodson are pursuing two serial arsonists on the West Coast in the new Apple TV Plus original series. The main character of the show, played by Taron Egerton, is determined to find the identity of both of the criminals and bring them to justice. His relationship with Michelle, played by Jurnee Smollett, seems to make them an ideal team to take on the case. However, Smoke Episode 2 concludes with a man wearing a false limp, one of their arson suspects, attacking a supermarket once more. He does what he is most famous for, which is to light a fire in the store's potato chip section. But in the episode's last seconds, it is revealed that Dave is the arsonist and is also in charge of the inquiry into himself. This startling admission gives a fresh perspective to the first two episodes, particularly in relation to a terrifying scene in the premiere that frightened me because I had been cheering for him. Despite the fact that Episode 1 had not yet shown Dave was the arsonist with the limp, it did highlight his method of starting his fires. This included frequently attacking supermarkets, which had a tendency to use cigarette-like incendiary devices to burn the potato chip aisles. He apparently has little trouble igniting fires in many kinds of establishments, so they weren't the only places he would target. He sets fire to a bin of foam pool noodles while targeting a craft business in the premiere. The scene centers on a woman who becomes trapped during the fire and makes a valiant attempt to flee the flaming structure. She manages to escape alive, but not before suffering severe burn injuries. She is horrified by a horrific scene in which the flesh on her arm slowly peels off and falls to the ground. This clip highlights the lack of concern arsonists like Dave have for human life when committing their crimes, even if the criminal drama TV show focuses on arson incidents. The human cost of Dave's actions is made much more alarming after it was discovered that he was the true cause of the fires. He is directly responsible for the sequence in Episode 1 where the woman's flesh peels off. The victims of Freddy's house fire subsequently demonstrate in Episode 2 that every arson attack has a palpable tragedy, indicating that Dave is aware that his attacks are causing harm to others. Even while I first supported him, learning that he is trying to hide the suffering he has caused makes his actions all the more terrible. Since Dave is intentionally hurting people with his arson attacks, his acts are unacceptable in light of the woman's suffering after the craft store fire in Episode 1. He has several methods to avoid taking responsibility for the extent of the suffering he has caused, which makes his commitment to the inquiry a cover for his own acts all the more horrifying. It is unclear how much more suffering he will wreak as the series progresses, given how much his fires have already harmed people. Thank you for viewing, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.